Hello, everyone. So let's talk about Vargottama planets. What does that mean when you have Vargottama planets in your chart? Because you may have heard that term thrown around quite a bit by astrologers. There is a line for those who know Hanuman Chalisa and for who recite it. There's a line in there that goes Man Kram Vachan Dhyan Jo Lai. Yeah, Mankram Vacham Dhyan Jo Lai. Those who remember Hanuman in thought, word, and deed, with sincerity and with faith, are rescued from all crisis of life, is the translation. Now, the verse also emphasizes the importance of aligning one's mind with one's action, with one's thought or focus, right? So your thought, your word, and your deed should be in sync, should be consistent. There should be alignment. And in this way, having Vargottama planets in your chart is a big blessing because it brings you closer to aligning your thoughts with your actions, with your words. So let's discuss Vargottama planets. Now, first thing is we have to define it, right? What is a Vargottama planet? Vargottama refers to planets occupying the same sign in the D1 Rashi chart, in your birth chart, as well as the D9 Navamsha chart. So they're in the same Rashi, they're in the same sign. So Aries, Sun, going into D9, Aries, Sun, right? For example, Varga and Uttam. Coming together. Varga basically is divisional chart. Uttam means best. So Vargottama. So you'll feel a peace, a contentment, a harmony in regards to the matters connected to that planet. And on the other hand, if it's badly placed, it can cause disturbance in the same way, right? Essentially what happens is with Vargottama planets, you express the signification of that planet in a pure way, for the better, for the worse, right? It is as inside, which is your D9, as it is outside, which is your D1. For example, the sun is occupying Aries between 0 and 3.2 degrees. Then, of course, it's going to fall in the Aries Navamsha, right? So, therefore, that would be considered a Vargottama planet. This planet is said to give double the results during its Mahadasha and during its Antardasha and during its Pratyantardasha. Whether it is auspicious or whether it is challenging depends on what the planet signifies for you in the chart, right? Where the planet sits in the chart, what aspects it receives. So all of that modifies the situation. This planet, it's going to be highly focused on that area of life and the natural significations of that Rashi, in this case Aries, right, where it sits, as well as the natural significations of the planet itself will get enhanced. And the expression just will be easier, stronger. The results will be, the fruits will be stronger. We can also see breakthroughs during its dasha, right? Like maybe you are stuck in some area of life and that dasha comes along and it's a very dignified placement of the planet and all of a sudden things are happening for you. So it can become the focus of the chart very easily in that way, right? Because it gains more power. Provided, of course, it is strong and it is well placed in the chart, right? So we need to see the dignity of the planet. If it's debilitated, then it may not have the power to deliver what you wish right? Like for example, the sun, it's not in Aries, it's in Libra. Then you can feel like a sense of like you've lost your direction in life, right? Maybe your the confidence is low. You can feel that during the sun's dasha or antardasha. And second, we have to see the operating dasha, right? Of course, if you don't experience the dasha of that planet, or you experience the dasha at a time in your life when the favorable results will be irrelevant to you, then again, it's an issue. So, for instance, you have a Vargottama Venus in your chart, and let's say Venus rules your 10th house, but you're only getting the dasha of Venus when you're 2 years old. Like 1 year old or 2 years old, when career is not your focus. Or you're getting the dasha after the age of 80 when career is not necessarily a focus. Image, status, career, right? That's not really a priority for you when you're a child, and certainly not when you're past the age of 80, 85. It's still a priority it's still important perhaps at that age, but it's certainly not a priority by then. So in that way, it's not very helpful, right? Yeah, you could still get the results in the antardashas. So we cannot ignore that. Another issue is, does this Vargottama planet play a supportive factor in your chart, right? The Vargottama disposition of a planet does make it stronger, of course, but will this additional strength acquired by the planet be acting in your favor? You have to see that also. So for instance, you're Cancer rising and you have a Saturn that is Vargottama. That's not necessarily helpful, right? It may harm actually more than protect you, because Saturn is not a friendly planet for Cancer. It can give spouse more power, control over you, but it may disturb your financial situation. And it may bring kind of like a bleakness in that area, a feeling of helplessness. This, of course, does get modified if Saturn is sitting in its own house. Maybe Saturn is exalted. Maybe Saturn is getting boosted by Venus. So we have to see the whole picture. So in practical terms, Vargottama is basically having additional potency to influence the birth chart. Generally, if it's a benefic or if it's friendly to the rising sign, then the Vargottama planet will be strong to help you with its own qualities. Or as a person, you may be displaying the qualities of your Vargottama planet too, right? The natural signification of that planet will also be good in this case, the natural Garaka, right? So overall, a Vargottama planet brings strength, it brings stability to the chart. So let's take each example. If you have a Vargottama ascendant, you can be confident about your life direction, your life path. You may possess a very strong aura about you, but you may also come across as very willful to others. Confident, willful, powerful in some ways, right? And when you figured out what you want in life, you can be quite focused and take steps toward this without hesitation, right? See also where the sun, how well is the sun placed in your chart to see to the extent of the fruits of this. This placement is also good for longevity. It's also helpful for health issues. And finally, if you have this placement, you have the same ascendant in the D1 and the D9. Look at this conditional dasha called Shatabdika for further analysis, because that would apply to you. So let's say you have Sun Vargottama, right? The Sun is what? It indicates authority, willpower, ego, self-esteem, the soul. It is the Atma Garga for everybody, actually. So if your sun is Vargottama, then you can have like good willpower, of course, confidence, an instinct about what you want. And irrespective of whether people support you, you just, you go for it. It can make you a good leader. It can make, you will have people relying on you. You're just, even if you don't want to be a leader, you're kind of, by others, you're kind of expected to take the lead. If it's a badly placed sun, or if it's in debilitation, then, it can bring problems with health. It can give low self-confidence. It can make a person unethical. You will, however, be very friendly, right? Because if it's debilitated, it's sitting in Venus' sign, it's sitting in Libra. You'd be friendly. You would be, you might be like a little bit understated in your appearance, which may make you attractive to others, because it may make you more approachable, more diplomatic. Fruits of what the sun rules in your chart, or where you can experience growth. Here you can feel like a little bit like lacking, like dissatisfied, right? There can be obstacles there if it's in a debilitated state, or if it's not well placed. The moon, what if the moon is Vargottama in your chart? So the moon is what? Emotions, it's nourishment, it's comforts, happiness, motherly love. When the moon is Vargottama, the qualities indicated by the moon will be more evident in you. This gives a good domestic life, emotional strength, an ease with self-care, gives stability to the mind. It gives a knack for succeeding in caring professions. Or even in your surroundings, or like with your family, you can have like a motherly instinct, like a caring instinct, right? If the moon is afflicted, however, there can be anxieties, there can be a loss of direction in life. So what if Mercury is Vargottama? Mercury indicates communication, technology, media, intelligence. If your Mercury is Vargottama, then you will display a sharp intellect. It gives good speech, good education, technical abilities, technical know-how, technical savvy. You're good with words. You're clever. You're clever in your speech. You're just generally a intellectual person. Debilitation can be a problem, right? Mercury in Pisces generally means that the intellect is being used for the wrong deeds. Like you're being crafty, as Mercury would, but you're doing it like unethically. It can make you cunning, especially if Rahu is impacting that Mercury. Right? Venus. What's Venus? Venus is love, it's luxury, it's comforts, it's money, it's strength, it's relationships. And not just your intimate relationship, but relationships just in general. How you get on with others, how popular you are with people. So here you can attract these things easily with the Vargottama Venus, especially money, especially relationships. It gives good taste. In dress, in food, in your presentation, in your general appearance. It can also give regenerative powers. This is very important to understand, right? Because especially if Venus is in its own sign, or if it's exalted. Because Venus is, it's our ability to heal ourselves, actually. It's our ability to heal ourselves, regenerate, reinvent also. And a Vargottama Venus can give you robust powers of manifestation. If Venus is debilitated, if it's in Virgo, it can mean laziness. excessive behavior in some way. Sensuousness of Venus may be hidden if Venus is Vargottama in Virgo, like maybe hidden or maybe unavailable to you. But in other ways, it's fantastic because this is where like we can see the healing ability, right? Even in Virgo, you could certainly be a good healer to yourself, to others. Mars. Mars indicates resistance, the fighting spirit, valor, vigor. Martian qualities are good when Mars is Vargottama, actually, right? It will make you a fighter. It will give you courage. It will give you the ability to stand up for yourself, to stand up for others. If it's in Cancer, this can trouble the peace of mind, and it can damage relationships also. Jupiter. Jupiter indicates wisdom, higher knowledge, higher studies, spirituality. And this is actually a fortunate one. It's a fortunate placement. It gives giving blessings. It's good for children, wealth, fame even. It will also help you attract the right advice at the right time in your life, which is excellent. If you have a guru in your life, this can help you tremendously. It can boost this Jupiter. Knowledge will come to you easily. Saturn. Saturn is what? It indicates delays, obstacles, but also stability. It can create blocks in your life when you find Saturn as your Vargottama planet, though. On the other hand, it means that you have good stability and resistance to go through difficult times. It will bring problems, but at the same time, it will, through those problems, increase your resistance, increase your resilience, make you tougher. Right? It gives endurance also. Endurance in your, it could be in your career, it could be in your relationships. Especially if it's well placed in its own house or exalted. It's excellent for career growth and for money matters. It can also help you cultivate patience. So what if Rahu is Vargottama? Rahu will give you the intelligence to overcome obstacles and problems in a clever way. It will incline you to shortcuts though. Right? Underhanded activities as well. Because Rahu is what? Rebelliousness as well, right? Thinking outside of the box, being unorthodox. It can ignite your aggression and your passion as well, especially during its dasha. So Ketu is what? Ketu indicates isolation, right? Opportunities for detachment, for spirituality. It gives strong intuition. It gives scientific, mathematical abilities. It gives doorway to spiritual establishments, which is very fortunate if Ketu is Vargottama in your chart. So that's all for now, folks.